Hello. This recording is designed to lead you through what is known as a theta wave meditation. This meditation is a part of Fitzmaurice voice work. The goals are simply to listen, to relax, to breathe. If it's helpful to let your mind wander, please feel free to do so. If it's helpful to stay with the images, please feel free to do so. And if it's helpful to take a nap, please feel free to do that as well. To begin, you'll need to find a comfortable place to sit, stand, or preferably lie down. If you need to pause this recording in order to set up a comfortable, warm space, please feel free to do so. Ideally, assuming you're lying down on your back, you're going to be warm enough to stay in this position for what will probably feel like only a few minutes. One of the goals of this exercise is to minimize physical movement. Oftentimes our bodies begin to twitch or move when we're not fully present, when our minds want to wander, when staying in the moment becomes uncomfortable. And of course, there is nothing wrong with following the impulse of your body and doing what feels right and good for you today. But if it is possible to begin in a way that allows you to relax your body and stay relaxed, that would be ideal. To begin at the beginning, lie back and breathe. Notice the breath as it flows in and out. Notice how little effort you have to do. Perhaps you might even be able to get out of the way of it completely. And notice how your body breathes you. Perhaps you might begin feeling parts of your body, as Arthur Lesac would say, using kinesthetic awareness, to explore how your body feels. Can you feel your breath as it flows into your body? Do you feel it in your throat, like the first sip of cold water on a warm day? Do you feel expansion in the chest, the ribs, the belly, any other part of your body? What exactly is moving and shaping when the breath flow changes your physical structure? What parts of you are moving and changing with it? Is it possible to invite breath down into your pelvis or the backs of your knees, the palms of your hands? Perhaps you might even imagine breathing into every facet of your spine. Allow yourself the next 10 seconds to simply notice the breath and your relationship to it. What does it feel like to breathe into the palm of your hand or the soles of your feet? What does it feel like if every pore on your body could breathe for you? How little effort do you need to do? And if it feels comfortable, you might engage your muscles with a very slight, easy scrunch. Perhaps engaging the buttocks, the thighs, the chest, the shoulders, the face, either separately or one at a time, a gentle squeeze and release. So we feel the muscles activate, we feel the electrochemical signal, we feel the change in our body and breath, and then we notice another change when we release that effort. Whether you prefer a big, hearty, all-at-once scrunch or a small, hedonistic series of smaller scrunches, explore which parts of your body could benefit from a gentle squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Many of you know the opposite of a scrunch is a stretch. Is it possible, as if you were giving yourself the benefit of the world's most lovely yawn, to stretch out your body lengthwise like a beanstalk, or out to the sides like a starfish, curling up like a banana, any way that feels good for you to pleasurably yawn and stretch your body before releasing it into a relaxed position. If that feels good and you'd like to do that 3 or 4 times, no one in the world will stop you. Next, of course, is a gentle bit of movement designed to innervate the skin, the blood, and our sense of ourselves. Imagining that someone you love or trust or care about is gently rocking you from side to side, the way you would with an astonishingly cute and charming corgi, perhaps resting their hands on your hips or ribs, gently rocking you side to side, perhaps even while saying, "Who's so cute? You're so cute. Yes, you are. You are cute. You are." The goal of this shake is to explore how one part of your body that has some energy might be able to create a ripple that spreads through the rest of your relaxed body. So, if you were shaking yourself from your pelvis, try to relax every part of the body that's not the pelvis. If you're shaking yourself from your ribs, well, it's the same game. Your chest, your shoulders. Whichever part of you is doing the work, let the rest of yourself relax. Check in with the back of your neck. Check in with the back of your shoulder blades. Check in with the back of your head. What's your breath doing? Is it possible to allow even a gentle shake to change the breath? And if you'd rather increase the shake, shake some things out, get your body feeling vibrant and alive, please feel free to do so. But also know that it's perfectly acceptable to begin to let even the gentlest shake begin to subside, as a song does while fading out on the radio. Can you find a spot where you're not entirely sure whether you're still shaking or you're merely feeling the remnants of it? Notice your breath. Relax and release into whatever it is you're lying down upon. How much can you give way to gravity? Can you imagine that everything on the left side of your body melts, thaws, resolves into a dew, like a melting glacier, melting away from the center line, melting away from your spine and your sternum, melting down, forming a puddle of you, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your bones. Everything liquefies and becomes this warm, lovely puddle that drips down through whatever it is you're lying upon. That drips down effortlessly and easily through the floor, through the foundation, through the ground, through miles and miles of earth and time, all the way down to that iron nickel core of the planet. The heart of the world, this warm ball that takes everything you no longer need and rewards you with warmth, magnetism, grounding, peace. What would it feel like to breathe into that left side of your body? That side as open as the world. If you return your focus to your body, can you feel a difference on either side? Allow the right side of your body to melt, thaw, resolve into a dew. Like a melting glacier, all your tensions and bones melt and drip, collapse and liquefy, giving themselves over into gravity, forming a pool of you as you exist in this lovely blob-like liquid form and drip down easily and effortlessly through the ground, through the foundation, feeling the warmth of magma, feeling the depth of time, moving down, cradled by gravity, effortlessly and easily, moving through crystals and mystery and civilizations long forgotten, easily and effortlessly cradled by the heart of the world, the iron nickel magnet that grounds, magnetizes, and takes whatever it is that you don't need. Allow yourself to breathe into this space. What does it feel like to release? And perhaps it might be time to see if that release applies to our physical body, which we obviously know has not turned into liquid. We can see, feel its boundaries on our bed or our mat or our couch. In fact, could we breathe into that boundary? Can you see, feel where you end and the rest of the world begins? Could you imagine someone you love or trust giving you tiny kisses, butterfly kisses, around your boundaries, like a chalk outline of sweet, gentle touch? Or someone you love or trust tracing you with a feather or a gentle touch? Breathe into that experience. Breathe into that boundary. Is the boundary constant? Does it move slightly when you inhale if this boundary, this border, this aura, this bubble, this bit surrounding you, what if it was bigger? What if you could take up more space with this energy? If your boundaries were further away, rather than hugging the soles of your feet, what if your boundaries were 6 inches further down? What if instead of gracing the top of your hair, your boundary was 6 inches above your head, above your face, above your belly, into the bed or mat from your back? What if every part of your boundary was 6 inches larger in every direction? Could you still feel that boundary? Can you breathe into that boundary? What happens if we extend where we end and the rest of the world begins? And what if you kept going? What if your boundaries were exactly the same as the room that you're currently in? What if your aura, your bubble, yourself, your boundary expanded outwards, filling every part of this room? What if you were brushing up against the doorway, the floor, the ceiling? If you could feel that you were part of every aspect of this room? And what if you kept going? What if you expanded your boundaries beyond your current room, reaching out through whatever domicile you're currently in, feeling yourself expand through every room, every doorway, stairwell, window? What if your boundaries were exactly the same as the building in which you live? If that's a home, that's every room of the house, the yard, the fence. If it's an apartment or a hotel room, filling up every part of the building that your room is in. What if your boundaries were exactly the same as the building and land in which you occupy? Can you feel breathing into those boundaries? That in a sense you are occupying every bit of that space. And what if you kept going? What if your boundaries expanded to move out onto the block, to the grass, the concrete? What if you expanded out beyond your home into the world, beyond every other person, every blade of grass, every molecule of air, every good happy dog, every bit of the world around you expanding until you filled your whole neighborhood, every sidewalk, every tree, every street light? And what if you kept going? What if your boundaries expanded to cover the entire metropolitan area of Denver? That's every suburb, brushing up all the way against the Rocky Mountains to the west, to the prairie, to the east, allowing your boundaries to expand like a dome above the city itself, breathing in and feeling yourself part of every river, every creek, every painting, every bit of architecture, every bit of sound, every gust of wind, every glisten of sunlight, What if your boundaries were the same as the metropolitan area of Denver, and you could breathe into those boundaries? And what if you kept going? What if you expanded your boundaries, flying at remarkable speed, becoming a part of Fort Collins, Boulder, Colorado Springs, Parker, Monument, Pueblo, expanding out, east over the prairie, west over the Rockies, becoming part of every aspen grove, every bison, every bear, every bald eagle, every inch of snow, every snowman, every part of the majesty, beauty, and sublime nature of the landscape is also part of you. As you continue to expand out through Grand Junction and the Western Slope, all the way to fill every part of this most beautiful state, and to be part of every rock, every tree, every breath, every eagle soaring in the sky. And what if you kept going? What if you expanded your boundaries in such a way that you begin to fill up not just Colorado, but the continental United States? What if your boundaries expanded at a terrific rate? So part of you brushed up against the Pacific Ocean on one side, the Atlantic on the other, the Gulf of Mexico against your feet, Canada against your head, or whatever configuration works for you. If as your boundaries expand, you become part of every droplet of the Mississippi River, of every evergreen in Washington, every redwood in California, every droplet of water in each of the Great Lakes, you are part of the Grand Canyon, the petrified forest, Mount Rushmore, the St. Louis Arch. As you expand through the entire East Coast, becoming part of every gulf, cape, coastline, every wave, every painting in the Smithsonian, every bit of natural and architectural beauty, feeling your boundaries brush up against the sea, feeling every inch of highway and sky and beauty, breathing into this space, this boundary. And what if you kept going? What if your boundaries begin to expand and fill up the entire globe? The earth itself has a boundary where it ends and something else begins. What if our boundaries expanded across the world at a terrific rate until we matched that of the planet itself? Can we feel our boundaries going over every droplet of the ocean, every fish, every bit of cold, feeling the poles in north and south, becoming part of the Great Wall of China, of the Taj Mahal, of Stonehenge, Easter Island, anything and everything in this world is now included within your boundary. Breathe into that space. Feel the billions of people, the trillions upon trillions of grains of sand, blades of grass, of space brushing up against your boundaries? Can you breathe into a space as large as the stratosphere, the atmosphere? And what if you kept going? What if you expanded out beyond the globe, beyond planet Earth, expanding your boundaries out till you're brushing up against the moon on one side, Venus on the other? And what if you kept going? What if we expanded to fill our entire solar system? What if we expanded out beyond Mercury, beyond the sun, moving out through all of space, moving through comets, moving through dark matter, moving through Mars, moving through an asteroid belt, moving at terrific speed through every moon, through Jupiter, through Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, every aspect of the solar system, breathing into a space that large. See, feeling those boundaries. And what if you kept going? What if you could expand not just through our solar system, not just through our one star, but through every star in the Milky Way? What if you could expand through all of the billions of stars that make up just this galaxy? What if you expanded out across millions of planets, billions of moons, expanding to fill every quark, quasar, solar event, lunar event, supernova, black hole? All of this is a part of your boundaries as you keep going and continue to expand until you can expand your boundaries and make them the exact same as our ever-expanding universe. What if your boundaries contained every bit of matter, energy, life, peace, and space in the known universe, in this dimension? What if your boundaries were the same as our universe? And what if you kept going? What if you expanded beyond the known universe into what's behind the known universe? You might imagine black and white static as we move through and expand to fill the backstage of the universe, expanding through the black and white static, expanding out. And if we keep going, we expand to backstage, the scene shop of the universe. Primordial forces, a black jelly-like substance filled with glowing colored lights, every shape you can imagine. What if you expanded to fill every aspect of this proto-matter, this proto-life, expanding through each of the colors until you find yourself headed into a white light, and expanding up and through that white light like a window, expanding until you are completely out of that black jelly and have put yourself completely into what's behind, what's behind, what's behind. A purely white space on the underside of everything. infinitesimally small and infinitely large at the same time. This space. This is the space where we can release, where we can begin to change, where we can connect with ourselves. See if you can find any relief or relaxation breathing into this space, this perfectly peaceful, white light space. And if your mind can conceive of something you want or need, now, in the future, even in the past, if you can conceive of that and you might even visualize that, something floating in a bubble or a snow globe above you. Perhaps you might even imagine reaching out, either with your hands or your will, to take hold of that object, that thing, whether it's something linear and tactile, something hopeful and metaphoric, a kind word, a gentle touch, and allow yourself in this moment to have what you want, to experience what it would feel like to have that hope, that fulfillment, that item, that touch, that word. Allow yourself to experience what it would be like to have that, to breathe into that gratitude or space, that feeling in your heart, and breathe. Breathe. You can come back here anytime you would like. Some folks like to bring themselves through this meditation, and as they're bringing themselves beyond the known universe, they look up with their eyes towards their foreheads, imagining that that's the direction they're moving up through that white room into the white light. If that's helpful for you, that's wonderful. You can always get back to this space as slowly or as quickly as you desire. And you can stay in this space as long as you can hold it in your imagination and your will and your breath and your sense of boundary. I say this because we'll be leaving shortly. If you'd like more time, please feel free to pause the recording and stay here as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to leave, begin to feel your boundaries of this white room made of white light where anything and everything is possible. Where you can take out the pieces of you that you don't want or need and leave them behind. Where you can bring into you new ideas, new concepts, new parts of yourself. In this place, you may find healing, peace, creativity, perspective, or just a place to rest and be safe. Begin to allow yourself to move out of this space that you may revisit any time. Bring yourself back down through that scene shop of the universe, that black primordial substance with black space and black jelly and colored lights until we're back in the black and white static. That's the backstage of the universe, feeling ourselves move through that until we are back and our boundaries are that of the known universe. Breathe into that space. Notice if you feel any different being back on this side of the door. If you feel diminished despite being as large as the known universe, and how that feels. Breathe into the supernovas and black holes and white holes and the pillars of eternity and your favorite clusters and constellations and light. Experience that and the fabric of space-time as you begin to move back into the Milky Way. As you begin to move back into the solar system, as you begin to move back closer to our universal neighborhood, back, bringing yourself back down to the planet Earth. Your boundaries as large as the planet Earth and yet less than what we were. Can you breathe into that experience, that duality? Can you allow your alar to hold both at the same time? Allow your boundaries to reach back down through the planet. Back, soaring back through oceans and air, natural wonders and man-made wonders. Eagles, dolphins, bears, pandas, as we bring ourselves back down to the boundaries of this great nation, feeling the waves on either side of ourselves. Feeling the roadways, the landmarks, the deserts, the forests, the mountains, the sky, the rivers and lakes, the library, the hospitals, the schools, the houses, the air, the water, bringing yourself back to the boundaries of Colorado, breathing in the beauty and majesty of the Rockies, the snow-capped purple mountains, the groves of aspens, the deserts, the sand dunes, Mesa Verde, the bubbling brooks, the roaring rivers, the calm lakes, the artists painting in their studios, the singers practicing their crafts, the helpers, and those at home, resting, learning, breathing, even when breath isn't easy, bringing themselves back to this moment. You're a part of all of this. All of this is a part of you. No man is an island. Bring yourself back into your room, through your domicile, past your roommates, neighbors, quarantine, and bring your boundaries back to the room itself. See feeling the ceiling, the floor, the walls, the laundry, and then bring yourself back to your body. Breathe into your hands, your feet, or rather the boundary just outside of it. Breathe into yourself, just as you were a part of trees and sky, comets and space. So too are you a part of every fiber of your being. Your consciousness lives in every part of your being. You are not a brain piloting a robot suit. You are in your feet. You are in your hands. You are in your eyes, behind them. And you are in every breath you take. You are every breath you take. Breathe. Relax. Release. As you begin to come back to yourself, perhaps wiggle your fingers lightly, or as they say in Die Hard, make fists with your toes. Perhaps begin making some gentle noise or humming, revisiting gentle scrunching, healthy stretching and yawning, and some gentle shaking as you begin to decide how slowly or quickly you would like to come out of this theta state. There is no rush. You are welcome to stay in this state as long as you'd like. My only caveat is to avoid making any major financial decisions, which is mostly a joke, but not entirely. Breathe. And feel the parts of your body that are open. Do you feel differently than you did when we began this meditation? Do you feel that it's easier to breathe into your chest or belly or ribs or spine? What does sound like if you were to send some yummy rippling resonance through all the various parts of your open body? If this exercise brought up emotion and it's useful to put emotion into work, and there are monologues or songs or poems that you'd like to put on whatever feeling you're feeling, that's a wonderful way to explore craft, but it's also perfectly fine to let your feelings just be your feelings, to let them move through you. Terry O'Connell was the woman who taught me this technique, and she would always recommend going out after this exercise and hugging a tree, taking off your shoes and putting your feet in the dirt, finding something to make yourself laugh, drinking something sharp like a cold glass of sparkling water, or your preference. Or lying back, putting on an album of your relaxing music of choice. I highly recommend Radiohead. And letting yourself stay in this dreamlike state. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to take the time you need to come out of this slowly and easily. Yawn, sigh, cry, laugh, meditate, drink soda, eat a cookie, look at the sky, pet your dog, sing a song, listen to Tom York sing a song. Whatever can bring you back to the moment. with absolutely no rush. I hope you enjoyed this meditation. If it was specific enough for you to stay with every instruction, great. If you fell asleep, great. If you were in and out, great. Thank you. This was recorded on Sunday, April 19th, 2020. All rights reserved. My name is Jeffrey Parker, and I do not authorize this for distribution. Sorry, folks. Had to throw that in there at the end. Stay safe. I love you. I hope to see you soon.